to my channel. All praise be to the Most High God. The Most High God comes first. This stream is brought to you by L.I.V.E products. L.I.V.E, live now, we're live now. This is only available right now in the Trinidad and Tobago area. So if you're in Trinidad and Tobago, you can contact me for L.I.V.E products. We have drinks, we have cleaning products, we have snacks. L.I.V.E, live now, we're live now. As you can see, we're going to talk about the Snyder effect. Superman 2025, it came out on July the 11th, 2025 in the United States. At present, it has grossed $565.5 million, and its budget is allegedly by Warner Brothers $225 million. The interesting thing about this whole thing is that when we look at Warner Brothers Discovery's stock, their stock has dropped in the last couple of days, and the stock at the current time is right now $10.91, just below $11. And this is no secret or no new news that Warner Brothers Discovery has been struggling when it comes to their stock. They can't get their stock back up to $20 a share. It used to be $30 a share. In fact, if I go a year ago, their stock was still in the pits. 5 years ago, however, there was a time when the stock, let me see here. Here we go. So if you look at Warner Brothers Discovery's history, in 2011, all the way up to 2017, their stock had risen, it was on the rise. In fact, I would say from 2005 onwards, their stock was on the rise because at that time they were producing really good films. They had the Dark Knight trilogy. They had some bloopers like Green Lantern in between. We got also Superman Returns. But the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight trilogy really carried them somewhere. It was the first billion-dollar movie, first billion-dollar, shall I say, comic book movie. After that, Zack Snyder took over the reins in 2013, brought out Man of Steel. All that time, the stock's going up, as you can clearly see there. It peaked somewhere around 2014. And somewhere between 2014 and 2017, it was on the decline. Batman v Superman was within that time, as well as Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman. And it had a steep drop in 2017 because of Justice League, which was a flop. Made, I think, $650-something, but it was a flop. It flopped. And that was because of studio interference, as you already know. So they had experienced almost close to $50 a share somewhere in the year 2013, 2014. So where Man of Steel was, they actually experienced some of their highest stock. And the reason that was so is because Greg Silverman was doing an excellent job with the franchise, and he was continuing to put out hit movie after hit movie after hit movie, And so not only DC, but Warner Brothers were getting hit after hit after hit. And Greg Silverman was fired in 2016 and replaced with Toby Emmerich. With DC, we had Jeff Johns, who became the head of DC, and John Berg. And in 2017, they decided to reshape Zack Snyder's Justice League as Zack Snyder's daughter died, and they were putting pressure on him all the time to change up the movie because of BVS. And they got him out of the way, and then they made the movie they thought was going to be the best for audiences, which turned out to be a flop. That dip you see down there in 2017, that's because of Justice League. It rose back up because of Aquaman in 2018. But Aquaman was an interesting movie in that it was a movie that symbolized, at the time, a response by Snyder fans showing if we approve of this person, which in this case was Jason Momoa, who was requesting the Snyder Cut and stayed really closely aligned to Zack Snyder. And Aquaman was a tremendous success. Tremendous success. Probably the most successful DC movie to date in terms of box office. Tremendous success. And that was because, one, a lot of people in Asia liked the movie because James Wan was directing it. Two, because also the Snyder fans, for the most part, I wasn't one of them, but the Snyder fans, for the most part, supported Jason Momoa and wanted to see the Snyder Cut scene because it was literally a response to the Justice League movie, saying this is where we want to go, so we support Aquaman. And of course, Jason Momoa was saying that Aquaman is more closer to Zack Snyder's Justice League, that he had seen the Snyder Cut, etc., 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 and needs to be put out and stuff like that. So because he was so unfavorable for the Snyder Cut, a lot of Snyder fans supported that movie. And if you know anything about Snyder fans, Snyder fans bring $500 to $700 million in box office. Okay, we have a lot of clout, and we can shift box office in a major way. And so that movie did well. But I specifically want to point out something. But before I do so, but presently, if you look at Warner Brothers stock, it hasn't moved much. If anything, it has decreased even more. Okay. There was a certain point in time when the stock was about $20, $25 a share. And, it's abysmal now. You're talking about $11 a share, $10, $10, $11, $12 a share. That's where it hovers around. And the important thing for people to understand, and we're in real time right now, so you see the money, it's saying that it went up or something. But anyway, the thing that you need to realize here is that James Gunn came out with his movie, and it didn't move the needle at all. That Superman movie came out, it didn't move the needle. Barbie, when it came out, didn't move the needle. And Barbie was $1 billion film. And that showed me something. And I'm going to tell you what it is. I think that studio is artificially inflating certain movies and pumping money into certain movies because shareholder confidence and confidence generally in the brand causes your stock to go up. It's just what it is. Your stock will go up if shareholder confidence and other people confidence believe that if I invest in this right now, I'm going to get more returns on my money because the stock price is going to go up. So when you look at the scenario that I just painted for you, which is this one, and the stock is going down, nobody's going to buy shares because they feel like, no, this is not stable at all. This stock is going down and down and down, which is why Warner Brothers is separating from Discovery, which is why David Zaslav is keeping the Discovery company separate from Warner Brothers because it didn't work. I want to show you something. So I'm going to show you it. When the Snyder Cut was announced as coming out, this was in the year 2021. Okay? In the year 2021, it was announced that the Snyder Cut would be coming out. I want to show you guys something. Zack Snyder's Justice League, it came out March 18th of 2021. March 18th of 2021. Talk about moving a needle. And when it came out, the stock was continuing to rise in Warner Brothers. And if you look at this diagram here, which is 2021, you see the 19th of March 2021, right? Warner Brothers stock went to an all-time high of $77.27 the day after Zack Snyder's Justice League was released. It was growing since Wonder Woman, or before Wonder Woman, because when Zack Snyder made the announcement that the Snyder Cut was coming out, it started to grow, and Wonder Woman benefited from that. And this, but the stock was growing independent of Wonder Woman. And the point I'm making is it peaked, or shall I say, it was rising, and it reached its maximum the 21st of March 2021. And you will ask me what happened on the 21st of March 2021. So I'll show you. The 22nd of March 2021, Ann Sarnoff spoke about this. She said that there are no plans for a sequel to Zack Snyder's Justice League, according to multiple reports. This announcement clarified that the Snyder Cut was intended as a singular project and not to be the beginning of a new series of films. Here's some more detailed breakdown. The Snyder Cut was a one-off. Sarnoff emphasized the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League was a unique event and not part of a larger plan of sequels. The decision to reboot the DC Cinematic Universe under a new creative leadership further solidified the fact that there would be no direct continuation of Snyder's vision, according to a report from Ant National University. Despite a strong fan campaign, Restore the Snyderverse, Warner Media remained firm on their decision not to pursue sequels. While the Snyder Cut was a standalone project, the introduction of the DC multiverse in films like The Flash allows for the possibility of the Snyder's Justice League existing in a separate reality, but without direct continuation. Restore the Snyderverse trending after the Snyder Cut was released, and Ann Sarnoff said that it was impossible. And as we all know, it did a record-breaking 1.5 million tweets. It never happened in Twitter before with any comic book movie. The last comic book movie to do that was Endgame, I believe. It was 1.42 million tweets or something like that. So it was a phenomenal thing that happened. And as soon as Ann Sarnoff did that, on March 22nd of 2021, Warner Brothers stock started to plummet. I mean plummet. Look at this. This is the 14th of May 2021. Let's go 16th of May, April 2021. The stock was now 37.34 USD. And no matter what movie came out that year, and Suicide Squad came out that year, I think it was in August. Let's see if we can get August here. This is July 2nd, and it's still plummeting. The 22nd of August, I think the 7th of August or somewhere around there, Suicide Squad came out, and it did not stop the stock from plummeting. It just kept on. It peaked a little bit here in January 2022, and it just kept on dropping. Look at that. And it dropped all the way down to $11, $12 a share. It's been hovering between $11 and $12 a share since then. Barbie has done absolutely nothing. Barbie came out in the summer of that year. It's done nothing to help the stock go up. Stock has gone as low as $6 a share. Okay, we are now here. All right, so let's go present day again. So we're now at $10.91 a share today. Okay. So when I tell you that there's a Snyder effect, and the Snyder effect is a real thing, I'm not playing with you. You know, Zack Snyder brings excitement that you like nobody's business. If Aaron Sarnoff did not make that announcement, we don't know how far Warner Brothers stuff would have gone. Because the confidence in the brand, the confidence in the suck to produce movies that people are engaged in and want so that advertisers can do what they do was an all-time high in Warner Brothers. And that's just not the case with Superman. All right. So I wanted to emphasize that. I wanted to emphasize that. This is the Barbie film, and I said Barbie came out July 21st, 2023. Didn't move the needle. Didn't move the needle at all. $1 billion film didn't move the needle. And I am telling you, this is my take on things. My take on things is that they artificially made Barbie a success. What do I mean by this? I mean that Barbie, though it did make $1 billion, I believe some Captain Marvel stuff was going on with that film. That they boosted those numbers. And they spent money. That's why Barbie isn't seen as this great success that everybody's talking about, because the studio actually pumped money into Barbie, literally pumped money into tickets sales. And I know that people filled up cinemas and stuff, but I feel like they're artificially trying to create a narrative. And I think the same thing's happening with James Gunn's Superman. Believe it or not, these studios do it. Disney did it with Captain Marvel. And when the truth really came out with the Marvels, we saw what really is happening. And I think they're doing the same now with James Gunn's Superman, because the movie is not a good movie. It's just not a good movie. And if movies aren't good, how could they be performing like that? I was listening to Bo DeMaio, what Marvel was doing to him and how they're trying to dirty his name and how he has a lawsuit against him right now and how they treat creatives. He's more gentle towards James Gunn's Superman movie right now. But if you think about the history of these multi-billion-dollar corporations and how they're behaving to the creative people who are actually successful, Bo DeMaio produced one of the most successful Marvel animated series ever, right? Everybody's satisfied with that. And what do they do to him? And this is something these corporations do all time and time again. They axed him. They got rid of him. It's like, no. You're way too successful. And for being successful, we need to get rid of you. We need to dirty your name. We need to destroy you. No, Zack Snyder. No. You're too successful. We need to dirty your name somehow, some way, and get rid of you. And this is the time and time again we see this weird thing. Right now, they're praising James Gunn for mediocrity. The movie hasn't even broken even. Mediocrity. Their company is in ruins. Ruins. And they're praising a guy for mediocrity. This guy came into power and had flop after flop after flop after flop happen under his charge. Something that in any other arena, you go and you don't produce anything and you get fired. They wanted to fire Zack Snyder for much less than that. In fact, they did. They changed up David Ayer's movie. They screwed over with James Gunn. They screwed over James Wan. They threw Patty Jenkins under the bus. They screwed over Todd Phillips, telling him you have to make a sequel to Joker. You have to make the sequel. Todd Phillips this is a one and done movie. Nah, you got to make a sequel to that so that they can make him fail. They're screwing over Matt Reeves right now. We don't know when we're going to have a Batman sequel. Why is it being successful with this company, whether you debate with them certain decisions and creative choices or whatever, if you go against that studio, they decide no matter how well you perform that they're going to get rid of you. Why is that? Why is that? So that's what I got for you guys. I wanted you to see and understand Zack Snyder, Bo DeMaio, Matt Reeves, David Ayer, Patty Jenkins, James Wan, Andy Muschietti, all these creators for DC have been screwed over. The girl that did Birds of Prey, I'm sure their original idea and vision, they never got to the screen. Zack Snyder had the luxury and the opportunity to produce his vision of BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League, but they screwed over David Ayer. They don't want to let us see his real vision. They gave an extended cut, which was bullshit. They screwed over Patty Jenkins, threw Jeff Johns, and then Jeff Johns threw her under the bridge and then got out of there. That was to get rid of Patty Jenkins. They screwed over James Wan. James Wan went to the hospital. That's how bad it was. The amount of tampering that James Gunn did to James Wan's movie. James Wan's gone out of comic book movies. He doesn't want to do another comic book movie. He's gone back to horror because of the horrible experience he had with them. And you could say what you want. You could bump your gums as much as you want. The truth is, these directors have had horrific time pushing back against these companies and these executives who have no clue as to what things should be. I heard Kevin Feige and the other guy were chastising Bo DeMayo for talking with the fans. Why? Oh, why would you chastise someone for talking with the fans? Why? We live in social media. There should be a two-way street. There should be a conversation between fans and companies. But that's not what these elitists want. Just like everything else in the world, these people are power hungry and decide you are pawns, you will take what we give you. And the creators have to fall in line with what we want. Period. A tremendously empire mentality. There's no democracy here. It's not about the popular opinion. I'm surprised they even let Deadpool and the Wolverine happen. Because that's something the fans wanted. The fans actually got Deadpool into existence. But I'm hearing Ryan Reynolds, he's having a difficulty getting sequels now because he's too successful. This one should not have happened. And that's my point. My point is that these multi-billion-dollar corporations are trying to control the narrative and trying to control you and me. And they're the same sort of mindset as the corporations that run the United States of America, that the presidents and the Senate and Congress answer to. They're just puppets of these guys. They're CEOs of companies. And they feel that they could do whatever they want, whenever they want, without consequence. But if you were to buck against them, they'll make sure they can annihilate you as much as possible. And you listen to some of these shills on social media, you have to realize those shills that are speaking, some of them are the executives in disguise. And this is how they think, and this is how they feel. So that's what I've got for you. You know, all the executives saying, oh, the Snyderverse is dead. Oh, got rid of Hack Snyder. You will be surprised. That's actual executives in Warner Brothers saying that. They're going by an alias. You're having conversations with them as fans. And I'll tell you this. As Rorschach said, never compromise, even in the face of Armageddon. I heard somebody say that, Superman's about to break even at 375 over the weekend. That's what they're publishing in the papers. I'm going to say it one more time. 575 ain't cutting it. And ain't breaking even at 575. We crunched the numbers. You can go watch my video. It's not breaking even at 575. That's a lie. 590 something, more plausible. 620, even more plausible. But the reality is it needs to make Man of Steel numbers to break even. That's the truth.
600, I think it was 668 or 661 or something like that. It may be more because I know this company pumped a whole ton of money into this movie. And last minute reshoots, all of that. So that like I said, I think the cost of that movie is about $300 million. That's like a Flash budget. So we're looking at maybe 690 something million. Or 700 plus million. That's the reality of the situation. Anyway, I am Christ, I am Disciple. I hope you guys have a good one. I'll catch you guys later. Don't forget to smash the like button if you like this video. You can also put a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe as well. This, again, stream was brought to you by L.I.V.E products. L.I.V.E, live now.